Hello, everybody. Welcome to Pearls of Wisdom. Today with Katharina, Suchada, and Navasit.
Good morning, everyone. Today, I have a question about the symbol because I have heard you mention about the Ingmar symbol for many times. So, what are Ingmar symbol?
Ingmar symbols are channeled from the star Aldebaran. Let me share. I prepared a couple pictures for you. Okay, it's coming. This is the star constellation of Aldebaran, of Taurus, and Aldebaran here is the eye of the Taurus. And here we see this is Alcyon. This is the central sun, the Pleiades, this here. They call seven sisters, but they're not seven, they're more actually, they're nine. And here on this side is Orion. So from Aldebaran, this is channeled. The whole Ingmar symbols are channeled from this star constellation. Now I have to find that one. And this is the book about the Ingmar symbols. You see, it's kind of looks a little bit horrible. So this was translated into terrestrial, into Earth language by Dr. Wolfgang Beckwar. And he was an Austrian veterinarian. And I have here, the symbols are so small. Okay. Put it that way. And I show you here just for your information a few of these symbols, and they are in the whole system are 160 symbols or 60 something. So this is a lot. And each symbol they have created has actually it has more than only this. It has much more meaning. I will show you later. And it has a lot of information on each page. And you can see, for example, here that all these symbols are relatively easy and have a certain flow, an energy flow. So each of the symbols is like, for example, Otos. You can see that we have two circles and a line. And this looks like holding something together. And this is a healing symbol that is connected with healing broken legs or knitting things together again. So with some symbols, you can see that there is a connection to the flow of the symbols, but you don't see that all the time. But it's very interesting when you just look at the picture of them, how all they are very, very different. It's not just always the same wave pattern or something like that, but they are symbols. They're really very, very different than others.
Is it a language?
No, I don't think so. They are really symbols that they have now a certain meaning to do something. Let's go here. See, for example, like this, when we make the symbols, they look like this. We put them in an oval or a round. And we have, usually you make a brown frame around it. And then you draw the symbols. And this one is this symbol that is called frill. That one looks here. And now I have it. This is in German. I prepared for a friend of mine. And then here is inside is to correct, to clear, to rejuvenate, to bring back order, detoxification, and healing. So we're gonna put the name of the person up here on top, the name and the birth date, usually. And then this is now for wound healing, this is for accident, this is for detox, and this is for breaking bones. And you see here, the symbol I showed you before is here again.
Okay.
And like this one here, symbol frill, and this one is called P. These two symbols are mostly, I have in most of the packages that are positive charged. This is kind of like a success key. And then we have another one that looks like this one. To see this in this direction and this direction, this is P and anti-P. This is also healing. Now, this one is building up and this one is breaking down. So, for example, in the detox, when you need to break down poisons and eliminate from the body, we use the anti-P. But
Okay.
when we want to heal wounds, we use the P. And this one is called Reiki. And it's also the word Reiki itself, that is in the Japanese root, is meaning healing energy. And when you see and when you understand a little bit the philosophy from that time, they try to translate it into Terra, into Earth language. Sometimes it's very difficult because they try to figure out with the name of the symbol the most easy vibration for it. Or I honestly don't know. There are many. Let me show you what I have here. See, actually, these are 3 different systems.
You said it's the channel from Aldebaran. So this Ingmar symbol is like some living energy in the Aldebaran contacting human.
You can say that because they are connected with energy, because that's what at the end then comes. You have to activate those so-called packages, you know. So that's what I showed you there. It's on both sides. That is one of the rules when you work with Ingmar symbols. Usually we make them in an oval. And you know, that's again, remember what I said, symbolic. Inside of an oval, it cannot escape, or inside a circle. As soon as you have a square, the energy goes forward. But here it's contained. And then you can cut it out, or you just cut whatever you need. This is just for him to copy, you know, so he can make this kind of standard packages. And then just need to fill in the name and birthday. And then afterwards, see, the drawing, whatever, also is sometimes very specific, because some symbols, they say you have to start on top, or you have to start at the bottom, or you have to draw from left to right. That also has something to do with the energies. And then once the symbol is finished, you have to activate it, that it works. So see, this in all my orgone. Generally, there is an Ingmar symbol package. And this is a package that gives you protection, that also contains tachyon energy, which is the energy of the Tesla plate. And so I mix and I combine the healing and the protection energies, success energies, in one package with 9 symbols in all of those. But that's why we need to activate them. And I hope Kay doesn't forget to tell them. I mean, the whole thing works anyway, but if you don't activate the symbol that is inside, this doesn't work.
Okay.
So these symbols are for healing energy of us.
The ones that I have in my orgone. Let me let me see here. I have images, Nikola Tesla. I have so much stuff here. I will look in more codes here. I tell you what it is. They are 9 symbols, and generally it is deactivating negative and reptilian influences and all malevolent implants in the human brain and body, activating divine soul star, unconditional love, creativity, abundance, courage, health, protection.
Wow.
So this is inside. And this is what everybody, when they do it, and you can activate it. And there is a certain, this is why it's a bit complicated in the beginning to learn the whole thing, you know, till you have to pay really attention to certain things, and you cannot just try, you need a book with the instruction. Even imagine the book is written about close to what is it, 80 years ago, and in German. And it's a kind of very poetic German that even for me is kind of strange. So, and that is an English translation. I met that guy who was teaching it. He was actually from Switzerland in Australia. When I was working in Australia, he was there too. We were at a exhibition or something, and he was playing a gong. He was a gong master.
Gong. Oh, okay.
Gong, you know, gong.
Mhm.
And he was teaching Aldebaran symbols, and I went to his workshop. So, you know, usually when we are having events like that, we trade. He come in my workshop, I go in your workshop, stuff like that, you know. So it was really very interesting, and I bought all the 3 books that from this art from 3 different star systems. So we have Aldebaran, we have from Antares, and we have the Larimar of Sirius B. So, but this is another few hundred more symbols.
So it means that the Ingmar symbol come from 3 planets.
No,
right?
they are 3 different books of symbols. They are completely different. I mean, already when you look at a symbol from for example, Larimar, they look completely different.
Mm-hmm.
Absolutely. So anyway, it's for here in general, the Ingmar symbols are the most practical because they have a direct connection with our physical realm. You know, Taurus in the constellation has also something to do with Venus, with our physical realm, right? And this is the same with the Ingmar symbols. But then we have Antares is coming out of the Scorpio on the other side, opposite. So you can imagine that this might not go together too well. So you usually don't use the symbols together. Symbols, and they are more emotional and mental. So these are symbols that don't work so much with the physical realm, but it might be you use them on your spiritual journey to connect with certain energies.
Okay.
So that's not the same. So again, that are hundreds of symbols all together if you have all the 3 books.
So it means that I can say that if you want to work with the material world, you can go to the Aldebaran.
Yeah, you use the Ingmar symbols.
Yeah, but for the spiritual way, you go to the Antares.
You can go Antares or Larimar. There are 2 different systems that, they are both on a higher octave, we can say. It's just going in another direction. And this is more like, mental, emotional.
Okay.
And also they have different levels and different, it's a complete different system. But it's very interesting, but really practical, what we need here now. That's our Ingmar symbols. Okay, so you know, it's in the beginning, it's very ideal to have somebody who show you how to do it. You can read the book, but as I said, it's very flowery. And when now the book was written in, what was the year? I forgot. I have to find the first. This is Wolfgang Becker in Austria. No, that's just the copyright of the new Antasira, but they don't write when he was channeled. But it was at least 80 years ago. And now just imagine, now I want to read you a few words from the preface that what he writes. Because this is so important, this is for now. This is the help that we have now to move forwards. So like many other stars of the solar system, planet Earth is preparing itself for a very big change. A quantum leap in the overall consciousness of the Earth will not only impact humankind, but virtually everything that exists on this celestial body. Apart from the many forecasts of the end of the world, which have which have long circulated in the collective subconscious of man, they are movements which speak in an inconceivable renewal of the world order that will reverse all values. In other words, a kind of reversal of polarity, which will also and mainly take place in the human consciousness. So you see that is a very, very profound esoteric spiritual knowledge behind that. When you imagine how long that is already ago, that already then they had given us the tool for this time that people can pick it up so they won't go down, that the catastrophe is not going to happen to destroy the earth.
So it means that it helps us to raise our consciousness.
Yes.
Right?
I mean, you remember what I said before when I said, if you, my teacher said to the guy who asked, why is your workshop so expensive? And then Detlefsen said to him, if you have not even managed the physical, what you can see, and have still problems with money, how will you ever be confident to move into a spiritual realm that you cannot even see?
Okay.
And see, that is why I also, Ingmar symbols are very important. And I mean, if you want, I would say, if you work already 1 or 2 years with those Ingmar symbols, why don't you have a look at the others? But in generally, what I would say is that's what we need now for the transition.
You mean currently?
Yeah, because that gives you so much power.
Can you give an example of one's Ingmar symbol and explain it?
Yes.
What it means, or how do we activate it, or how can it help us? Just one simple and get into details of it.
But normally, do they have to like combine 1 or 2 or 3 symbols together? Right?
That's why we make packages. That's what I said. We make packages. No. You know, actually, it doesn't really matter which symbol is what. This is not really so important when you look at them. They have a certain flow that I don't understand either. And for example, also this one, there is a certain way you have to draw it. And this is a healing symbol. And I don't really understand exactly symbolically why. I understand sacred geometry very well, or things like that. But this is something completely different. And, you know, I'm more also reminded again that what Cryon says all the time, you don't know what you don't know. And this is exactly when we think about our future. If we use the past to make a prognosis for the future, we stay on the same consciousness level. But we want to go up and we don't know what's waiting there. So we have to stop to project into our future and come in the here and now and create it. And this can help you to create this future. Because again, if you have a vision and you put the symbols together to manifest that vision, it sends energies out. So for example, when I finish a package, what I do is you cut it out or whatever, you hold it in your hand, or if you have more than one, sometimes I put it in my crystal bowl. And then I say something like, that's also like, maybe that's not necessary anymore that way, but by virtue of my divine origin. So that means I acknowledge that I am of divine origin. I ask the beings from Aldebaran, my sisters and brothers from Aldebaran, to activate these symbols to work for me. And you can mention the symbols, but you don't have to because you're holding the package. They know what you're talking about. And then you say, for example, and the symbols, they, for example, I have the symbols for find a new job. And the symbols are working for me until I have my new job. Or once that you have the job and you don't need that anymore, you do a little gratitude and then say with gratitude, I release those Ingmar symbols out of my service so that these energies are free again. Or sometimes like if you paint some symbols on your own body, you can say as long as this body exists.
Okay. So we can paint on the, we can put in the painting as well.
Yes, but again, we have always to know the rules that whenever it is on a carrier like paper, whatever, you have to put it on both sides and activate and whatever how. So if you want to draw it on your body, you don't have to draw it on two sides, not here and in the back. Just sometimes on the skin is enough. But then you need to activate the symbols one by one with its name. And now here is a very difficult thing again, how they are written. For example, I showed you P is P-I, but of course in English, people read it pie.
Oh, pie, okay.
But it's P. So if you do an invocation something, I activate the energy of P, or I activate the energy of pi, that's completely different energy. It's not working. And this is, I mentioned, I was teaching that in Alaska in the early 2000s. And this is why I was working with Americans, because for me, as originally German speaking, it's not a problem, but they all pronounce those symbols completely wrong. So we have to first do also in every language, go through the symbols a little bit to see that you can pronounce it properly, that you can use it in the invocation way. If you don't draw it, but you make an invocation, you need to pronounce it right. I mean, it's a huge difference, and there are many, many more that Americans pronounce completely different. So it's kind of important. That one also, like this, there is one that is even with numbers, how you have to draw it. I don't know if you can see that. See the numbers? So you have to draw this first, this second, and so on. So it's not just like you can just, you see and you draw something. It's exactly the way how you have to put it there. It's like in a ceremony when you make a circle or a square, whatever, you put one stone here first, then one here, then put the center and activate it or whatever. So we have also at the this is Pleu is Sagittarius. So there are also 12 that are connected with the star sign. You see Scorpion. It is. So it is. Oh, I love it. I mean, I want to tell you a story about what happened, and this is really the most dramatic stuff with the Ingmar symbols happened in Alaska. These people that they were so open. It was really fantastic to work with them. It was so fun, all the work to do with the pronunciation, you know, sometimes we just laugh a lot. It was really good. So I had one lady, she had an old car, and she said, you know, I love that car, but and it's some car that is you can hardly find spare parts anymore. So she was a little bit worried. She said, because it's very difficult, I need to do something before the winter comes and spare part. So I teach them how to phrase the wishes that they come true. So she said, okay, I tell her, you send exactly what kind of car do you want, what replacement, what price, everything. You just make a list what it is. So we did that list. We put the Ingmar symbols. We activated. Next week. Next week. I mean, that was Saturday, Sunday, and I think it was Wednesday or Thursday. She called me and she said, Katharina, you are absolutely nuts. And I say, why? You won't believe what happened. So she went to another town, had a little accident on the road. Somebody hit her a little bit, but just a little bit. That's not so bad. But there was that guy somehow led to the garage to fix that. Whatever had to be fixed wasn't the big thing. And that guy looked at that car and say, would you sell that car? And she said, why? I said, because I have the same car and I desperately need spare parts. And I'm looking for a car. He had a car garage. He had a garage selling cars and fixing cars. And she found the car. I mean, it seems nearly like a crazy romantic story, but she found the car that she wanted there too. I mean, you know, but then we have exactly the opposite. There was a young guy there and a kind of, you know, a little bit, you know, and he wanted to have what very fancy car. I don't remember which one, a Jaguar or something like this, you know. I said, okay, you do that. He did, and he never got his Jaguar. It's like the symbols, they work when we really, really want it and need it, and when it's in our path. But this kind of 18-year-old boy didn't need this kind of car, you know, kind of. This is kind of wasted. But sometimes in the workshop, you cannot choose the people, you know, you don't know them when they come. So it's also like but one day, I'm sure, one day he will get it. And then, oh my God, she said that at that time, and I didn't get my Jaguar. Maybe you understand something, no?
Wow.
And another thing was, now that was really dramatic. We had one lady, she needed shoulder replacement, bone replacement. And she had a lot of pain, and she said she doesn't want to do that, and she would like to find an alternative way and whatever, blah, blah, blah. So we were working on that, and we put all the symbols over her body. That was Sunday. We activated that. Monday, she flew down to Seattle for the operation. Everything was more or less prepared, and they brought her in, and then the doctor came and said, I'm sorry, lady, something with your insurance is not right. We cannot operate. So she didn't have the operation. That's what she wanted. She did not want to operate, and she did not know how to get out of it. Because this is what the insurance paid. She had a possibility to go to China, and they had a certain method. I don't know what it was. She told me about it. So I said, activate that. But no insurance, nobody would have paid that. And at that time, she didn't have the money. So I said, why don't you use the same method? And manifest the money or the possibility to go there, whatever. I don't know. I didn't. Afterwards, I lost a bit contact, but I heard that finally she did go operate because she couldn't get at the money. It was like the whole thing to go there, to live there, whatever, was kind of very expensive for her. So she finally made the operation, I think. But just, you know, I mean, it really works. It really works. But again, also, many people sometimes they just put in way too much. It's always less is more. Like they put 100 wishes, and you know, can I even wish sometimes contradict the other? And so I would very much recommend then that you use like a laser, you know, one thing but clear instead of diffusing light. No, then it's much easier to get something done.
So I can conclude that it's like another way, like the same as the Aldebaran box. Is that similar?
Yeah, kind of. Similar, you can say. You know, it's always there is always differences, and sometimes very difficult to describe.
Okay.
Yeah, but anyway, it's we can do some work. We can workshops on that, because that is something that you can afterward easily use. And I have just seen, I think the book is available. When I had the book, this was translated by that guy I met. He organized the translation and the English print. So the book was very expensive. It was about $50 one book. But I know I think they sell it differently now. But I really wanted it. It's okay. I don't care, because they did not have printed many at that time, just a few for people who are interested. So, but I think it's out there now, but it's in Austria. And if somebody needs help with German, I can help there too, if you want to order the books. But you can now today also translate the pages in English. But anyway.
So when should be proper events that we use the Ingmar to help?
You know, it's like you can go and have an accident a little bit and have whatever foot or whatever pain, you can work with the Ingmar symbols. You can learn, for example, first those healing symbols, which would be worse, like for accident stuff like that. It's not so difficult, or you can immediately, by virtue of my divine origin, I ask Frill and P and Reiki to heal my body now, in gratitude. So it is. So, you know, there are so many ways to work with it, and they're very clear. It's easy in a way. And once you have a little bit experience and know a little bit about them, you find them fast. Actually, there are cards like packages. They are in the book. They're shown in the book, and you can have them in cards in German. Where is it? The cards. Why can I not? Anyway, it's very, very interesting to. There, yeah, like packages like I showed you here actually, and then this just for healing for again, and I just extended it a little bit. And here it is. This is. Can you see? They are like the cards, like packages like this. So for example, when we have here, this is an energy healing package that you can, so in the book there are suggestions of which symbols you put together. And with the time, you also have to learn, like P and anti-P, you cannot put those both in the same package. They cancel each other. So it's actually very good if you have this information. You can also like put, you make a package and you put the water on it every day and you drink your water like this. And this is activated with the same energy, similar like the pyramids or whatever with the orgone. This is an activation that is like, for example, when you activate it, you say, as long as this device exists. So it's always having that energy. And then once when it's kaput, okay, then it expires.
So it means that we activate one time when we start it.
Yeah,
okay.
But you know, sometimes I feel I have to activate again. Maybe it was a little bit like, for example, one pendant that I haven't worn for a very long time. Then when I put it on, then I activate it again. It's just like activate the package. So it needs very little. It's kind of, you become this relationship with these beings, with these symbols, with the beings through the symbols. They become kind of friends of you.
Energy.
Yeah, because they're very powerful.
Wow, interesting.
One other thing, you know, there's a lot we have to move on, especially, you know, this is now an interdimensional communication. And that's what we are working on, not just like the talking to each other, but really that interdimensional communication. And with these symbols, that's like you learn a new language with the symbols, and you learn a new energy that is connected with energy. not with intelligent words. I just, you cannot afford to cough. So it gives you a different way of conceiving things, you know, talking through the symbols. It's like learning another language, another way to communicate, which is very good. We need to expand in so many ways. And when I see also, for example, the Antares, for example, when you say that is their language, their writing or whatever, their symbols are very different. So you can see that their kind of language they talk is different. You know, there is so much more. Like people, I'm really like, you know, you get up every morning at whatever 6 o'clock, you go sit in the car, you go to the work, you go do this, you do that, you eat something, you come home, you crash in front of the TV, then you sleep. Maybe you have a little sex in between or whatever, but what the hell, what is that? This is where humanity has gone. All the spark, all the creativity, all that what really would be fun, be lost, and that's coming back. It's gonna be good. It's gonna be good. It's coming back. We just need to go forward. Work on the light.
Work on the light.
Yes, within. Become that big lighthouse, and your light influences the whole.
Yes.
That's
agree.
what we're doing. Having fun. Okay, so I think that's it more or less, huh? Thank you for listening, everybody. If you like it, please like and share. And thank you for you too, for your questions and your inspiration.
Okay, thank you for your answer. Really appreciate it.
Okay. Welcome. Bye-bye.